is a manifestation of deprivation of basic human needs. So one of the key activities of Chetan Kastur Foundation is Poverty Discourse, which is a platform to deliberate upon various issues pertaining to poverty. We have organized so far 55 poverty discourses, and today is the 56th poverty discourse happening. We are happy that Dr. Sunil Mishra has agreed to deliver the 56th poverty discourse, and the topic is food and nutrition security in India and its relationship with poverty. Is there a locational disadvantage? With this brief introduction about our foundation, I would like to introduce the today's speaker, Dr. Sunil Kumar Mishra. Dr. Sunil Kumar Mishra is a development economist by profession. He is currently a fellow at the Institute of Human Development, ISD, New Delhi. He has got a vast academic and professional background. He was an ICSR research fellow at GB Pant Social Science Institute, Allahabad, and also an ICSR postdoctoral fellow. Dr. Mishra's research interests include poverty, food security, health, child deprivation, and inclusive development, and most importantly, tribal studies. He was part of important research projects like poverty dynamics in Jharkhand, political economy of development, poverty and change in rural Bihar, study on child poverty and disparities, India country report for UNICEF. This report has been highly acclaimed also. He was also part of a large WFP-sponsored project on food and nutrition security atlas for 8 states. Dr. Mishra published several research papers in referred journals of national and international repute. One of his highly acclaimed books is The Challenge of Inclusive Development in Rural Bihar. This is jointly written by Dr. Gary Rogers, Amrita Datta, Jani Rogers, and Professor Alak N. Sharma, ISD, and published by Manak Publications in 2012. With this brief introduction about Dr. Mishra, I would request Dr. Mishra to start his presentation. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Lalit, in giving me the opportunity for delivering the lecture on such an important topic on food security and its interrelationship with the multidimensional poverty. So just 1 second, I'm sharing the. So in India, the proportion of moderately and severely food insecure people in India rose from 28% in 2016 to 31.6% in 2009 as per the SOPI report. And the total number of food insecure people has also risen over the period of time. India accounts 22% of global burden of food insecurity, and this is high among any country. The moderately and severely insecure people in India has increased by 3.7%, whereas in the South Asia it has reduced to 0.5. Again, when you go through the global hunger index, India position 94 among 107 countries, and it is well behind Nepal, Bangladesh, and Pakistan. On the other hand, when you see the multidimensional poor reduced from 635 million in 5/6 to 364 million in 15/16. This is almost half, but the percentage is extremely high in India as compared to the other developed or developing countries. Again, when you disaggregate the multidimensional poverty figure, you will find that almost 35% of children are multidimensionally poor, and half of the total STs are multidimensionally poor. And if you see the four major states, which are basically comes in the ESG states, uh, they are still the home of 196 million people in India. Again, the lockdown since the March 2020, it aggravated the hunger situation and insecurity among the household. So, in this uh, lecture, basically, I want so this topic is basically based on my postdoctoral thesis as well as the 5-6 project I have involved relating to the food security. So the first aim of this talk is to analyze the dynamic of food security situation at district level, to find out dimensional overall food security or insecurity index, to compare the condition related to the food security in both food secure and food insecure region, identify the factors responsible for food insecurity or policy interventions, compare food insecurity index and multidimensional poverty index to find out that is there any locational disadvantage uh, in identifying the food insecure region. Then, is there any interplay between the food and nutrition security, the outcome indicator, and the multidimensional poverty? So, at the outset, basically, I am giving the definition of what is food security or food insecurity. So, as per the FAO report, when all people at all time having physical and economic access to the safe and nutritious food to meet their dietary needs and food preference for an active and healthy life. On the other hand, the multidimensional poverty measure that reflect the multiple deprivation of the poor people in the area of education, health, and living standard. And the beauty of the multidimensional poverty index is that it is taking in both the incidence as well as the intensity. So the food security basically, when you go through the literature, it has four dimensions: availability, access, utilization, and stability. But in this basically I will reflect the first three dimensions, and the stability dimension I will not reflect because at the district level the data sources are not there. That's why I will not discuss anything on stability aspect. So this you can see the conceptual framework of household food security or insecurity index. The household food security basically have taken this variable in availability, the per capita value of agricultural output, the industrial area, and the villages access to town within 10 kilometers. Then in excess index, I have taken the agricultural area with total worker, the individual population proportion, the guess industry, then working age population, state, access to payroll and MTC. Okay, the inequalization aspect, I have taken access to safety water, access to primary health center, literacy rate, and disease and health burden, and access to toilet. So, in choosing the different variable in different three dimensions, this is actually based on the different study by WFP, by UNGF, and by other. And I have compared the food security index with the outcome index. So this is all about the conceptual model of household food security.
Program called Yuva Sathi that aims to educate and sensitize adolescents to inculcate responsible expression of
The
sexual
multidimensional poverty index basically it taken into account three broad dimensions:
product
health, education, and living standard. So within these three dimensions, a total of 10 indicators they have taken, and each has
On the other,
a weightage. So the health dimension has 1/6 weight, the education dimension has 1/6 weight, and the living standard has 1/18 weight. So here in this talk, basically I have taken the status of the district in terms of multidimensional poverty index from OPHI index. So in this slide, basically, I showed the three methods that I have adopted in finding out the food security of the particular district or region. The first is range equalization method. Everybody knows about the UNDP report where they have used this method. The second is the mean standardization method. So in many of the paper, Professor Kundu has taken this method. Then third is the principal component analysis. So these are the three basic methods. So I am not going on the details about how I have calculated within this method. Then the another point I should reflect that why I have taken district level thing. So the basic reason is that the food security basically in many of the literature you'll find they discussed in state level or country level, but when you discuss this into the district level, you can get a idea on the local context. It accounts the local context, it capture the cultural and political dimension and risks that to simplify the complex issues. It allows us to understand the bottom-up approach and the risks of food and nutrition security. And most importantly, the index is meant to spur the dialogue about the driver of food insecurity and suggest the area where district and other stakeholders should focus their effort to have a greater impact. Then I'll discuss each of the dimension of food security index. So what I got from my data analysis. So in this graph, you will find the red marked portion. They are basically highly deprived in terms of the availability index. As I have discussed previously, that availability index basically has taken the agricultural output, the irrigation. So the agricultural related indicator are taken into account in this index. So here I found that the states like Rajasthan, Himachal Pradesh, Uttarakhand, Jharkhand, Odisha, Maharashtra and Assam, then Rajasthan and Uttarakhand, they show a high food insecurity. On the other hand, you'll find the highly agricultural state in terms of the production and productivity. Punjab and Haryana, they found some good position in terms of the availability index. So basically the cluster here you can find that the South Chotnagpur, Santal Pargana and the Kolhan region of Jharkhand, they are very backward in agriculture. So if you go through the different agricultural indicator in this particular areas, South Chotnagpur area, then you'll find that the irrigation and the agricultural production is very traditional. The irrigation proportion is very low. So that's why this area is very backward in terms of availability index. Then in Rajasthan, you'll find arid northwestern sandy plain. These are very, if you go through the data, the rainfall is extremely low. In Rajasthan also they are partially irrigated zone. So in North Hill region of Chhattisgarh, Jhabua Hill region and Madhya Pradesh, they are backward in agriculture. Again, you'll find the central Maharashtra, they are very low in rainfall and irrigation. That's why the red clusters you'll find, they are very deprived in terms of the availability index. So in this table, just I saw the findings of the districts in terms of the access index. So here you'll find that more than 3/4 of total district in Chhattisgarh are extremely food insecure, followed by Odisha and Bihar. That has more than half of the total district food insecure. On the other hand, you'll find Kerala is the only state where all the districts can categorized as extremely secure district. In Himachal and Haryana, about 1/4 of the total districts are extremely secure. So when you see the map, you'll find that in Odisha, basically the KBK region and some other tribal areas, they are highly food insecure in terms of the excess index. So you know that the KBK region is one of the most district in terms of the food security, livelihood, and other human development indicator. Then you'll find the northern hill region of Chhattisgarh, Madhya Pradesh. You'll find the highly food insecure areas, and in Bastar Plateau also you'll find the high backwardness in terms of the excess index. Here basically in this table I have just marked the status of the district by district. So of the total number of district, what percentage of district are fall in extremely insecure or insecure, or on the other hand highly secure and highly extremely secure district. So here you'll see that the EAG states like Bihar, Chhattisgarh, Jharkhand, Madhya Pradesh, Odisha, then to some extent Rajasthan and Uttar Pradesh, they are all in a highly insecure region. On the other hand, the Haryana, Himachal, then Punjab and Tamil Nadu, they are find as highly secure district in terms of excess index. So this graph shows the utilization index. So here you'll find that here also the EAG states like Rajasthan, Odisha, Madhya Pradesh, Chhattisgarh, and Jharkhand, they show a higher degree of food insecurity. On the other hand, the Karnataka and other they are the secured region. So here we'll find that the tribal dominated districts like the KBK areas, then the Sundargarh areas, then the other Gajapati area. So these districts are highly food deprived in terms of the utilization index. Then in Jharkhand, you'll find of the 24 districts are in highly deprived in terms of the utilization index. So this is about the utilization index. In this table, basically I showed the status of district, the proportion of districts fall in extremely insecure or insecure region, and on the other hand, secure and extremely secure region. So this map showed the overall food security index. So you'll find that in terms of food security, the districts, many of the districts of Punjab and Haryana, almost 3/4 district of Haryana are falling in the high secure zone. Likewise, the Kerala, all the districts are either coming in secure zone or highly secure zone. On the other hand, you'll find the Jharkhand, Chhattisgarh, and Odisha are top in the insecurity thing. So in Madhya Pradesh also 1/4 of the total district are highly insecure. This district level, I have just discussed that what proportion of the district are fall in the extreme insecure or insecure districts. This map basically I have outlined the outcome index. So in terms of outcome index, the 92% of the district in Bihar and 87% of the other districts, they are in food insecurity zone. So interestingly, here you'll find that some part of Odisha, Rajasthan, Uttar Pradesh, and Uttarakhand, they are performing some better in terms of the outcome index. This may be due to the good governance in the respective states. In this table, basically, after going through the food security index in 3 methods, first range equalization, mean standardization, and principal component analysis, I have identified all the insecure district into 3 broad category. In the first category, I have just putting the district which are alarming in terms of the policy implication. So I have defined the alarming district in terms of food security by the district which comes in the food insecure zone in all the 3 methods: range equalization, mean standardization, and principal component analysis. So here you'll find the 3 district of Odisha, then Madhya Pradesh, some
और
districts,
एक मिनट
and many of the
हाँ और
districts in Jharkhand, they are comes under the alarming district. This means that we should focus on these districts more rigorously so that the food insecurity conditions are reduced to a large extent. Then the second group of district are the district which need a high attention. So this is at least in 2 methods. So here you'll find the districts of some districts of Rajasthan, Madhya Pradesh, Odisha, and Maharashtra there, and one district in Bihar. They are the district which need high attention in terms of food security. Then the third category, I have identified the district comes in one method, like in either range equalization method or mean standardization method or the principal component analysis method. So these are the district which comes under the highly insecure zone. Basically, my aim of grouping these districts into 3 broad category, the highly insecure district into 3 broad category in terms of the policy prescription. So the government or the intervening body or the organization or institution which are focus on the intervention work, they should highlight this focus on these districts. Then in this part, the second part, basically I just compare the food insecurity district with the district which are multidimensionally poor. So in the first pie diagram, you'll see that among the very poor or poor MPI district, what is the distribution of food insecure district. So here you'll find that of the total MPI poor districts, almost 55% are insecure district. So in the second graph, basically you will find that of the total in food security, food insecurity, what is the distribution of the multidimensional poor. So here you'll find some peculiar thing, like suppose in of the total insecure district, almost 40% are uh, in rich category. So then just I have done a correlation analysis between the multidimensional poor district and the food insecurity districts. So, so basically, in terms of the multidimensionally poor indicator and food insecurity indicator, this is the correlation analysis. And in excess utilization and overall food insecurity or security, the multidimensional indicator and the food insecurity indicator is highly correlated, that is near to 0.7%. And even the outcome indicator with the multidimensionally poor indicator, you will find it is more than 0.7 So this implies that there is a highly correlation between multidimensionally poor district and food in terms of food security or insecurity districts. Then in this table, basically I reflect the multidimensionally poor status among the food insecure or extreme insecure district. So of the total 221 districts which fall under food insecure or extreme insecure district, you will find that 67 districts are the mediocre in terms of the multidimensionally poor index. Only 13 districts are very poor and 49 districts are in the poor category. So this is an interesting table. So in this table, basically I compare the food insecurity, extreme food insecure district, and find out that among the extreme food insecure district, what is the distribution of the MPI poor status. So in the yellow colored district, 3 districts, basically you will find these 3 districts: one Orissa Malkangiri, Chhattisgarh the Dantewada district, and in Madhya Pradesh Alirajpur district. So these 3 districts are very insecure in terms of food security status, as well as they are very poor in terms of MPI status. So these 3 districts are very insecure FSI and very poor in terms of the multidimensional poor status. Likewise, the second group of districts, they are poor in terms of MPI and they are very insecure in terms of the food security index. So here you will find the comparison of the food insecure district with that of the multidimensional poor. So this type of analysis basically helps the policymaker to intervene in terms of the MPI as well as the food insecurity status. So the policy prescription should be for the district which are very poor in terms of MPI and very poor in terms of the food security index. So for that group should be different from the other group. So which are like you will find one district, one district in Jammu Kashmir, which are rich in terms of MPI status, but they are very poor in terms of food security status. So the policy prescription for all the group of districts should be differentiated. So table just from the NFHS 14 NFHS 4 database. Basically, I have identified the status in terms of different development as well as health indicators. So when you compare these group of 5 districts, you'll find that the very poor MPI and very insecure district, their result is like in terms of infrastructure, you will find they are performing very poor as compared to the very rich in terms of the food security and rich in terms of the multidimensional index. So here you will find that this indicator shows that whenever you will find a development indicator like the access to electricity or access to safe drinking water, you will find that the very secure in terms of food security and rich in terms of MPI, their performance is higher as compared to the poor in terms of MPI or insecure in terms of food insecurity. So from this, actually, it is clear that the policy prescription for the food insecurity district and multidimensional poor, they should go hand in hand. So after discussing both the food security index, after the multidimensional poor index and their interplay, just I am concluding this talk. So in this analysis, basically, we'll find that in terms of the food security index, a large proportion of Chhattisgarh, Bihar, Jharkhand, Madhya Pradesh, Odisha, and Uttarakhand, they are falling in extreme insecure zone. Then, in terms of the food security index, a large proportion of districts in Kerala, Haryana, Punjab, Tamil Nadu, they are falling in secure zone. Here we will find, so in the principal component analysis, actually the merit of that method is that from the factor loading we can identify the variable which are explaining more in terms of the food security. So in this factor loading, I found that the condition that the agricultural labor household, their factor loading is high. This implies that if the government focus on development, improving the condition of the agricultural labor household, then the food security can tackle to the large extent the insecurity situation. Then the second important factor, that is the consumption expenditure. So the consumption expenditure among the food insecure people, they are extremely high. Consumption expenditure for food insecure district is low. That's why government should focus on improving the per capita consumption expenditure among them. So the next is the access to primary health center. This comes out as an important factor which explain to a high extent the food security or insecurity condition. Then next, the literacy rate, particularly among women. This is also an important factor that can explain the food security to a large extent. Then the basic facility like the access to toilet, which in the conclusion, in the next part, I will reflect the Swachh, to what extent the Swachh Bharat is in fact helping the poor in to get rid from the food insecurity situation. So the last factor is the access to toilet. So this is so these 6 indicator I found a high factor loading. This means that government should reflect on in this factor, so to get a quick result in terms of securing the insecure region. In terms of the outcome indicator, Jammu Kashmir, Himachal Pradesh, Haryana, Kerala, Punjab, and Uttarakhand is showing a high proportion of district in extreme secure. Then the states showing dismal performance are the Bihar, Jharkhand, Madhya Pradesh, and Uttar Pradesh. So this I can skip. So here in this slide, basically I found out some of the important findings in my analysis or interplaying between the different data set. So the average calorie among AOI card holder, this AOI is Antyodaya Anna Yojana. In food secure district, in insecure district, it is 81% as compared to that of the food security, but for APL it is 91%. Then the percentage contribution to the cereal in calorie is in highly secure district is 47%, whereas it is 69% in insecure district. Then you'll find that when you analyze the calorie and the calorie from getting from milk and milk related product in the food secure district, it is relatively high as compared to the food insecurity district. Again, if you analyze the minimum dietary diversity, minimum meal frequency, and minimum acceptable diet, you'll find that the food insecurity district is low performing as compared to the other group of district. So among again these indicator like the minimum dietary diversity, meal frequency, and acceptable diet, when you analyze among the vulnerable population like SC, ST, women group, women headed household, migrant household, non-migrant household, the vulnerable group of household, they are more deteriorating in terms of these indicators. So this I have already discussed. Then in the last part, basically I from my secondary data analysis, as well as from visiting to different field area. Basically, I recommend some conclusion. So in secondary data analysis from particularly from NSS, in a study by me and Dr. Datta, will find that the exclusion error, particularly in the backward district, actually we have done a study on food insecurity status is in Odisha and Bihar. We find that the exclusion error among the poor, the vulnerable population is high in those districts. Then we need the income transfer through PDS, and this should be transparent. So some of the state governments, like the multi-nutrient fortification scheme is there. So some innovative work is done by in Odisha, Chhattisgarh. Basically, that can be reflected the good governance in terms of maintaining the public distribution system. In public distribution system, you'll find the Chhattisgarh also has a good performance over the period, particularly during the Raman Singh government. Then another portability of ration card. Actually, in one of my study, I found that the people who are migrating, particularly from KVK region, basically they found difficulty in getting the PDS and PDS thing in the migrant area, and basically the food insecure area. They are also high migration prone area. So different government of Orissa, as well as the central government has also launched some program called One Nation and One Ration Card. Again, between these state also, you'll find between Andhra Pradesh and Telangana and Maharashtra and Gujarat government, this portability thing is there. Then in one of my study, I found that the Aadhaar-based biometric authentication in basically PDS, which is called the EPOS system. This is very beneficial in terms of ensuring the quantum of the food that should be go to the poor. Then in one of my field study, which I have worked for the GIZ relating to the nutrition intervention, I found that they have done a remarkable work in terms of kitchen garden and improving the seed bank. So over the period, basically in two most backward districts, they found that the kitchen garden has improved the life of the tribal household to a large extent. However, some of the other conditions like the access to water, this is also an important aspect to develop the kitchen garden. So in collaboration with the local government, GIZ has done a good work in terms of developing the kitchen garden. Then the sanitation practices, basically here actually access to infrastructure or access to sanitation is as important as the awareness generation among the poor people. So even though you have toilet, you cannot, many tribal people, they are not using that. So the giving the facility as well as convince this household to use those facilities, this is an important thing. So I can consolidate this thing that the interpersonal communication is an important aspect in terms of developing the kitchen garden and other. Then I can reflect one of the good work done by the government of Orissa in terms of the called the millet mission. So this is through the SSG fold. So we have done some good work in finding out the role of millet production in Odisha, basically in tribal region, and they have done some good work like developing the Mandia Cafe and this type of innovative thing. Then the millet peda and the production of this. This is an remarkable work done by the government of Odisha. Likewise, another important factor I should reflect that developing the local leadership, because many of the food security related thing is done in terms of the group approach. So in some of the study, basically I found that the during the intervention, the intervention work is going on smoothly, but once the funder withdraw from the field, then the whole work becomes stagnant. So generation of the local leader, it is an important thing. So here I can give two example which I have done with the Center for Advocacy and Research, and another is with Pradhan. They have done some good work in terms of developing the local leadership. So here in this picture, basically, I have just shown the kitchen garden done by a tribal household in Shiopur, Madhya Pradesh. They have developed some good kitchen garden. The second picture, this is the innovative use of government sponsored toilet. So this is a Kirana shop. So actually, that's why I was telling that the awareness should be there. To get the benefits, even though toilet facility is there, but they are not using that. In the third picture, this is an interesting picture where basically in Shiopur district, due to lack of water, basically this lady is eating rice and chapati in a polythene, so that for washing the utensil, then don't need water. Okay. So then another point we should reflect strengthening the strengthening or functioning the local management bodies like water body. So this is also important, because in many villages I found that in pen and paper these management bodies are there, but in the field they are not working. Another important aspect I can recommend that basically during my field work, I found that in some point of time, government of Madhya Pradesh, they're giving 1,000 rupees to the female tribal female household for improving their nutrition and food purchasing food items. But when in our primary field work, I found that of the total 1,000 rupees, a large chunk of that money is utilizing in purchasing gutka or tobacco product. So ultimately, the incentive given by government is ultimately no result. Then next, use of technology in to upgrade the water facility is an important factor. Then creating secure livelihood opportunity and livestock farming, and introduction of millet through group approach. These are some of the recommendations which the government or other intervening bodies should reflect. So thank you for hearing me. So if you have any doubt or question, I can happy to answer.
I have a question. Thank you so much for the wonderful presentation. It's a well researched paper, and you have also taken into account lots of ground realities. It is not just theoretical research. It's great that you have also studied at the ground level. My question actually is a twofold. First thing is that what exactly that needs to be done at the ground level? You have indicated about the seed bank or kitchen garden. We have a person called Deval there. Probably you might have heard about it. He is a UC Berkeley PhD. After coming back, he's working in the Malkangiri area of Odisha for seed bank. He's known as the seed man of India. So what more needs to be done at the ground level for food security? And also at the policy level, I understand that policy level at the all India level policy will not work. So local zone policy, what exactly needs to be done for food security in those pockets of Odisha, Chhattisgarh, Rajasthan? So what are your recommendations, ground level as well as policy level? Thank you.
Can I ask?
Can I? Yeah.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah, please.
Malay?
Yeah, please.
This is Akshay Kumar Panda. I need some clarification. When you spoke about food security, are you including nutrition security in that?
Pardon?
Whether food security includes nutrition security or simple food security in terms of cereals, availability of cereals. And now coming to the government of Odisha and government of Chhattisgarh. I remember government of Chhattisgarh has done good work in providing food grains at ₹2. It started with Dr. Raman Singh, and I think that PDS has universal coverage. There was no chance of pilferage in the PDS system. Then why most of the districts are food insecure? And what puzzles me, you have also stated that 25% of the Haryana districts are food insecure. Haryana is food surplus. Haryana per capita income is very high. Even if, food is not available because of per capita income and proximity to Delhi, it is a place where situation should be better. I don't understand why 25% of the districts of Haryana should be food insecure.
Yeah.
You have talked about education as an element in your calculation. Is it simply access to education or the quality parameter of education? What means the learning outcome? Then I think you have probably talked about KPK. What I find, Kalahandi is out of the picture, Balangir is out of the picture. It is only Koraput district, undivided Koraput district comprising Malkangiri, Raigada and Nabrangpur. They are into difficulties. And the last one is about, you have talked about a woman or the people in some regions, they take food in plastic probably to maximize the availability of water. What surprises me is that, habitation starts with availability of water. If there is no water, people would not go there in the first place. What probably I feel has happened, the water has really vanished from that area because of bad management, mismanagement of availability of water. Otherwise, why habitation is suddenly faces the problem of so much scarcity of water that they take food in polythene. These are some of my observations. But nevertheless, it's a very good work. I would like to, if you can share the slides, it will help us.
Yes, definitely I'll share. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Hello, there is one more question. This is Kesari Prasad, working here in Chetan Kashyap Foundation as a research associate. Thank you for such a wonderful my question is, you Kerala and on the other side, Madhya Pradesh, Chhattisgarh, Jharkhand, and this Kerala and western part of India like Punjab, Haryana, Punjab and Haryana. These are very high region in terms of food security. Whereas this MP, Chhattisgarh and Jharkhand region are highly insecure region. So my question is simple that is it the problem of availability, accessibility of food grains, And what would you suggest to mitigate the problem of this food insecurity in this uh, Madhya Pradesh, Chhattisgarh, Jharkhand region? Thank you.
Is there any question? More question?
Sir, I also would like to raise some questions.
Yeah, please. So that Dr. Sunil will sum up all the questions and answer each and question.
Yeah. Sir, I'm Mary Pandey and I work here in Chaitanya Kashyap as research associate. So, sir, I would like to ask regarding on this public distribution system. We also have targeted public distribution system. In this system, this PDS aims to provide food to only the poor household. So there are some issues on this, like there are non-poor household are also included to get benefit from this food distribution system. And the other issues is that, the quality of food provided in PDS is also poor. So, sir, could you briefly explain on this aspect?
Thank you.
Yeah, Dr. Sunil, you can ask question.
Yeah. So I can answer by question. So the first question is asked to a specific recommendation for the areas like Malkangiri or other area. So basically, the policy prescription for such districts should be multi-pronged, because you'll find in Malkangiri or the part of the undivided Koraput district, you'll find the literacy rate is extremely low, the awareness is extremely low. So this is not the case of the food availability. Uh, Food availability. So for those districts, you should identify, and we can segregate the district by the by what I analyze that highly in terms of poverty, it is extremely low. In terms of food security, it is extremely low. Maybe some other part of the country you will find in terms of poverty, it is a poor rich rich region, but in terms of food security, it is extremely poor. So another actually example I can give to you that in one of the paper I found from the literature that why among the household in highest wealth quantile the anemic and the stunting, wasting, underweight is there. So you'll find in a high income bracket also the children are stunted, the children are underweight. So this aspect is basically actually within a particular household. Not only the food availability is an important factor, then food diversity as well as the quality, it is important. Another important factor you will find that, for example, within a particular household, that household may not be a poor household, but the intra distribution is a problematic thing. For example, giving priority. For example, in my household, if suppose some member is pregnant, then her the food distribution should be different as compared to a small child. Her food. Basically, in our rural villages, in rural areas, in some of the backward area, you will not find the intra-distribution priority of the household. So whatever the other member they eat, the pregnant women they also eat the same thing. So this is also an important factor which can taken into account within a particular household. So in this aspect, basically the intervention bodies, the ground level, the NGOs and other who are intervening in the field, they should giving priority to this aspect also. Another question asked on the universality of this structure. The nutrition and food security. Another question asked by Mr. Akshay Kumar Panda. So here actually in my index I have taken both food and nutrition security indicator. Then another part of your question is that even though PDS is universal coverage, when you analyze the percentage of the protein or the calories derived from the quantity from PDS, it is low, I think. So in my some of my other paper, I have discussed that. Another important question, actually good question you have asked, that why 25% district in Haryana are food insecure. So the reason is that here basically I have taken both the availability as well as access indicator and the utilization indicator. So in some of these districts, basically their food habit, they are different as compared to the other area. Hence, when you take into account whether the hand washing practices and so these activities, basically some of area you'll find that even in developed district also the food insecurity is there. Uh, Here, one question you have asked that the education, whether I have taken the learning outcome or not. No doubt, learning outcome is an important indicator, but getting secondary data by district level on learning outcome, it is difficult. So, I have taken simply the literacy rate that is one of the proxy indicator for that. But you are right that taking learning outcome is in fact a good indicator. Then you have told the water. No doubt, water is an important aspect. In my study, basically, one thing is that water scarcity is there, but even the awareness of some of the household is also a difficulty because actually some of the household in that area also they have developed some good kitchen garden by utilizing the wastewaters. So this is uh, water availability of water, no doubt, is important. But on the other hand, the awareness of using the wastewater for kitchen garden, this is also an important aspect. Then Mary has asked a question on the PDS target. So here you will find that you will find both exclusion and inclusion error in PDS. And actually, groundwork is also important in terms of identifying that who are getting what, whether they are smoothly getting or not. So I can give a good example. In one of our work, basically I visited a field area. So some investigator he asked me that the total the price from of the cereal in Antyodaya Anna Yojana, some respondent they respond that they are not giving any price for ration they got from the PDS shop. So I told him this is wrong. You have done the wrong thing. So this cannot be possible because for AY household price is fixed 2 rupees or 3 rupees per kilo. When I again inquired from the respondent that there is a tie-up between the PDS dealer and the respondent, that the PDS dealer will give 10 kilo rice free of cost to the household, and the remaining 25 kilo they black marketing this the ration amount, and ultimately the ration dealer getting benefit from that, and the respondent they got 10 kilo free rice. So this is actually in fact a peculiar situation in the ground. So I think I justify your question. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Sunil, for nicely explaining all the queries for the participants. And I think if there is no more question, let me see
Hello.
that.
Hello.
Question?
Yes, sir. This is Nitin. I am a PhD student at Ambedkar University, Delhi.
Yeah,
If I may ask a question with your permission.
yeah, please, please.
Thank you, Professor Misra. It was really a very insightful and really thought-provoking presentation. There is one thing that you have rightly pointed out, that there is a stark difference between some states performing at the high security end and some of the states, and they take those who are performing at the highly insecure end. Is there any correlation? I'm just out of my curiosity, I'm asking, is there any correlation between uh, the, the production level, the, um, uh, the level of production and the food insecurity at district level? Um, I mean, I have been wondering with data, but there is no much data available in terms of northeastern states where the food production and food consumption um, taken together with the food insecurity and various indices are really not available. Uh, but can you show some light on this particular aspect of food production, food insecurity, and like you talked in detail about public distribution system and all, but um, probably I have been able to put my question, I guess.
Yeah, so actually, I have not done any specific correlation between the production and the food security of a particular area. But in my indicator, I have taken a variable of per capita value of per capita productivity of agriculture that I have taken. So,
Okay.
in one of my slides, you will find that the relationship between the MPI and the availability index is extremely low.
Okay.
Simply mean that it is not necessary that highly food produced or high productivity, agricultural productivity district will be high food secure district. But specifically, I have not done any correlation. But a relation is, I think, the food security, food production, that may not be highly correlated. Okay. Then here, one of my limitation of finding out the food security index is that I have taken the major state, 553 states, sorry, district within the state. So I have not taken the information of northeastern state because for some of the variable, actually I could not find the update information like irrigation and other things. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So yeah, that's why actually I have not taken that. Yeah.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you, everybody. If there is no question, so at the outset, let my apology for some audio technical disturbances. I thank Dr. Sunil Mishra for a very well-researched talk. And one of the important aspects of Dr. Mishra's thing is that he very elaborate about the multidimensional aspects of poverty, and that is the crux of his talk. And other aspect of his that he suggested that literacy rate among the women needs to be improved, better food security. And other thing he said that access to infrastructure is as important as our next generation. I'm happy that there's a very good question from vast aspect of audience, like mostly for international donor organizations, government, civil society organization, and academic institutions. So I thank both the speaker and also participants for such a nice and lively discussion. Thank you very much.
Thank you.